Patricia.
Yes.
Patricia Lucy Shelsey.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking part in the first interview for Women's Forum in 2012. We're going to divide the interview into two sections.
Okay.
The first part of the interview, we're going to talk about you and the creation of the book.
Yep.
And in part two, we'll focus on each section of the book in more detail.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Now, for readers of the forum not familiar with your work, can you just talk a little bit about your career, just a brief outline?
Okay. I've always been concerned about the future, and consequently I got involved with primary school teaching, so I got my degree in teaching. And from there I recognised the needs of refugees, so I got another qualification and started teaching English to refugees. From there I went to hearing lots of stories and started teaching English in colleges to migrants who had chosen different career paths, such as child studies, childcare, business studies. From there I went into outreach, once again hearing lots of stories, and ended up specialising in minority groups. Started working with youth at risk. Meanwhile, I was a volunteer in peace movements, started working with St John's Ambulance, again as a volunteer, got my master's, started writing and coordinating programs for women on methadone programs, the unemployed.
I know about your work with women on parole.
Oh yes,
yep, as well.
Did that.
Yep.
And then I started my counselling qualifications, so I've got counselling qualifications as well. So fairly broad and eclectic.
Okay,
yeah.
Terrific. Now, I've seen the book. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
It's great. Now tell me, how did you get the idea to create the book, and how long did it take?
It took approximately 8.5 years, and the impetus was my journey in the Australian outback. My love for Aboriginal people, actually, was what actually did it. Also the fact that I've been hearing stories my entire life, and on this particular journey I was appalled and inspired by the conditions under which Aboriginal people live. So that's where the book commenced, actually.
Okay, that's interesting. I mean, there's such an interesting collection of biographies in the book. It really, I was amazed by the diverse range of people. Where did you find all these people? Most people don't meet that many, that sort of collection of people in a lifetime.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
We're everywhere. In order to survive, everyone has to overcome obstacles.
Yep.
So everybody's a survivor. So it could be the person who serves you in the supermarket or the one at the bank. I know it's a cliche, but everyone has a story to tell. So it's fairly easy to meet people that... I suppose it just comes down to a matter of when someone's ready to talk about their particular story of survival.
Okay. When we first spoke on the phone, you mentioned not being able to find a similar book currently on the market. I find that surprising. How is this book different?
Well, this book provides and presents as a complete toolkit from the trauma and the where to now. There's actually entire stories, not just snippets or one book about one person and their survival. Also, it doesn't need to be read sequentially like other books, and it's eclectic and holistic, going from like psychiatry to the I Ching. That makes it just like people, really, because people are holistic. They don't just necessarily just stick to psychiatry.
Sure.
And also, it caters for everybody that way. It's also a manual in that it's got useful contacts in it, and as well as it includes jokes. I mean, it's totally holistic, and there's nothing like it.
That's what I found interesting, is that it is like a toolkit that you can use every day, like a resource. Can you talk about some of the exercises in the book and how they can be used?
Okay. This is where the toolkit is in the exercises. They're all reflective exercises. There's budgeting tips. There's makeovers, how to make yourself over. It might be just changing your hairstyle. Home makeovers, self-nurturing, breathing, ideas on how and where to make friends, happiness, So it's all in there.
It's very practical.
Very,
It's-
very
yeah.
practical, useful.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about the spiritual side of the book? I mean,
Okay.
so often self-help manuals focus on the physical or the mental,
Yeah.
but it's very rare you get everything in a single book.
Yeah, you're right.
Very holistic, yeah.
Yeah. I suppose in its essence, the book's about getting to know ourselves. The more we put the pieces together of ourselves, the more complete we become. And the book assists in us helping us put our pieces together. This way we gain more and more peace, and this enables us to find our spirituality and find our life purpose,
Okay.
living life with joy.
And what's the ultimate aim of the book? I mean, what do you see as its purpose?
Okay. Its immediate purpose is to reduce violence, increase communication, to create a positive change within ourselves and make the world a better place.
Nice. Okay, so what's next for Patricia Lucy?
Okay, now what is the universe going to throw at me?
Yeah.
I'm very passionate and dedicated to improving myself and the world around me. So whether it be another book, short films, hey, I'm open to offers.
Okay, great. Well, I think on that point, we'll finish on part 1 and move on to part 2 shortly. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Sandra Lee.